welcome to Mama Ruth's house. I'm so glad you stopped in. This is episode 5 of our very special series of our candy making. And these are going to be butter toffee. There's no nuts. And this is really easy to make as well. We're going to use 1 cup of butter, again, and 1 cup of sugar. Put that in there, and 3 tablespoons of water in this one. And we're going to just mix that together until it gets incorporated. I'm going to put you down so you could see, huh? So we're just going to melt this butter. If you've watched any of the other episodes on the candy making series, I know it's going to be redundant if you're watching them all, but I've been doing candy for probably 40 years, close to 40. When my children were small, I always made candy. Just made it every year. That was just my thing that I would do, and it would be the gifts that I would give people. We didn't have a lot of money, but I was able to do the candy, and it just made me happy. It still makes me happy. I love doing it. But I wanted to do these episodes so that my children, my grandchildren, and when I have great-grandchildren, that they'll still be able to see how I made candy and have the recipes, because they get lost over the years, and you don't know how you made it. You go, oh, my mom used to make X, Y, and Z. And so I'm so happy that I get to share these videos with you and make this candy for you and whatever else I make. I know that I'm addicted to food, obviously, with a weight problem. And so I know over the years that's been an issue for me. And so now I just have to remember that it's one time a year. This is the holiday season. Count it if I choose to have it. This particular one is 9 points. If I choose to have some. And I just don't want to overindulge. And I know that I can have it if I want it, which is very nice. So if you are struggling with your weight, I'm not affiliated or paid by Weight Watchers, but I truly believe in Weight Watchers. It's been a lifesaver for me. I'm now down 72.4 pounds as of today. I've been at it since January, so not quite a year. So I'm very happy with that. My goal is by next Christmas to be at my goal weight. And I feel like that's a very attainable goal. So this recipe, we're going to let it boil, mix it together, stirring frequently until it's at the hard crack stage, which is about 300. Then we're going to put it in our prepared pan. I just put some spray, and then I put the parchment paper on and sprayed it a little bit and got that ready for us. And then once this is at the hard crack stage in that beautiful dark copper penny color, then we'll pour it in here. And then we're going to top it with some chocolate Hershey bars. It takes 3. Again, it's a very simple recipe. It just takes a while for it to get to the temperature. But as far as the recipe itself, not hard at all. I do this over medium heat. I always stir it when I should just leave it alone. I'm going to sit down while I'm talking to you guys. So this is our 5th candy we're making today. I'm going to make 2 more that are the toffee kind. One with saltine crackers, if you've not made that before, and then one with the Ritz crackers, and then I will go on to the next thing. I'm so excited. I love making this. I love doing it. Yeah, I get tired, especially as I get older, but it doesn't matter. I still love doing it. So, and I feel personally, I always wait till the last minute because I don't like the candy after it's been like I like it fresh for everybody when I pass it out. I don't like it to be. I mean, these all hold for probably a good week in a airtight refrigerated container. Um, but again, I like to make it pretty fresh. And so this is Saturday, so tomorrow's Christmas Eve. I'll be taking some to Christmas Eve to share, and then I'll be taking it on Christmas Day to share, and then making some little containers for several people that we have in our life. So it's just wonderful. I love doing it, and I think those of you who don't cook or don't understand, it's just it's because it's a tradition for me, and I've been doing it, like I said, for like 40 years, and it's just everybody says, "Are you going to do it again this year? Are you going to make candy?" You know, and so I I just I just love doing it. I can't. There's nothing else. um, and it's kind of I really like sharing it as well. So even if I'm not eating it, um, if I'm not eating it, at least I'm sharing it. So that's nice. And now I'm sharing it with you to show you how to do it yourself. All right, I got it kind of mixed up. I wanted to make sure there's no. I don't like the sugar to be on the edges. I usually try to scrape that down in there. So that it dissolves in that butter. Leave it alone for a while. This is the time that I get to sit down and rest a little bit in between. So it's kind of nice. This probably will be airing after Christmas, so you can keep these recipes until next year and be able to make it. But you can make them anytime. You don't have to make them at Christmas. You can make it anytime once you know how to do it. Between 290 and 300. But you truly want it that beautiful, it gets that beautiful dark copper penny color. Once it starts boiling like this, then it starts browning a little bit. So then I always be careful because I want to make sure it doesn't burn on the bottom. Just kind of stir it frequently. You don't have to stir it constantly. I didn't have a candy thermometer for many years, and it was a little challenging. But you can add it, put it in a glass, and you can drop a drop in the glass when you feel like it's been cooking for a while or it's the right color. And then if it drops to the bottom in a ball, then it's the hard crack. But the candy thermometers are really not very expensive, and then you know exactly, and it just makes the guesswork, takes the guesswork out of it. My mom, she never made candy, or um, my grandma always made pies, so I was always baking pies with her when I was young. But I think my love of cooking just came later in life when well, I guess I shouldn't say that because I cooked for my family since I was in 7th grade. Um, I would be at school thinking, oh, I wonder what I'm going to make for dinner for the family. Um, and my dad always loved me to bake the pies. He wasn't a big cake fan, but he loved cookies and pies, so I would do that for him. Well, for the family, I guess. I used to when I was in high school, my cousin Carol, if she watches this, we used to have a great time. She was the cleaner and I was the cooker. But then we would make these crazy cookies that sometimes they turned out yummy and sometimes they were not so good. And we would make them out of Chex cereal and chop up the Chex and then put different things in there. We would always, do the butter and the sugar, and then we put the some flour and salt and all of those things, and then we would act Chex Mix, and sometimes we had chocolate chips, sometimes not. Sometimes we would put raisins, and we would try all different things, and they came out really good sometimes. And sometimes we put peanut butter, and it would be yummy. I don't know why I never made those since I was a kid. We used to always do that. Carol, if you're watching, put down in the bottom if you still make those. I miss those times. We had fun when we were cooking all those things, crazy things. When we pour this in, anytime that I make any kind of toffee, I don't like scraping it. You just dump it out until it's, you dump it out, because otherwise sometimes you'll get, it sometimes is okay, but sometimes you'll get that grittiness that's at the bottom, and I don't really like that in my candy. It hasn't started changing color yet, but it's got that consistency. I have a feeling once you make this and you see that how easy it is to make, because it is a little bit intimidating when you first start making it. You'll see how easy it is, and then you'll want to make it all the time. And it takes very little ingredients, as you see. I would say from start to finish about a half hour, just about to the soft crack stage. It's starting to turn a little caramel color. We want that to be that dark as a dark copper penny. Not the shiny new ones, but the dark copper penny. It's the consistency totally changes. When you make this, you'll see that once it starts getting towards the soft crack, you can tell the consistency. See that color? It's starting to turn. I don't know if you could see it with this in the way. We just got a little bit longer. It's almost at that hard crack stage. We're getting that nice color. I don't know if you could see that. It's at the hard crack stage. See the. So we're going to turn this off, and we're just going to stir it one last time, and I'm going to just pour it in our pan. And I'm going to go put this in water. We'll leave it alone for about just a few minutes, and then we'll put our chocolate pieces on the top and let them sit for just a few minutes. Just toffee that had the pecans. This one does not have any nuts in it. So my husband will like this one, I'm sure. He likes peanuts, but he kind of gets a reaction to pecans and walnuts, so we don't want to eat that. It's amazing how hot that pan gets. Well, I guess it's 300 degrees when you put it in there. When I first started making candy back in the day, a lot of times I couldn't buy and make as many different kinds, but I always wanted to try different ones to make. And some were flops, it's going to not be as good as others. Even though I tried to follow the recipe to the T, sometimes it just wasn't the same. I'm going to make a new recipe this time. I'm going to try the nougat, the one where you put the like gumdrops and cut them up, and it's white, and it has the gumdrops in it. They used to sell it in bins. It was Brock's, and you could buy it by the pound. And it was white squares, and then it had those different colored jellies in them. And so I'm going to try to make that this year. This is the first time that I will be making that. So you guys will witness that. We'll see how it comes out. You basically want this to get like a little bit hardened, but not too hardened before you add your chocolate to the top, because you don't want it to sink in. You kind of want it to stay on the top. Such a pretty color too, huh? They remind me of Heath, kind of Heath bar. I've made them in the past where when you put the chocolate on, and then you also can sprinkle chopped nuts. You can use any kind of nut that you like and put it on there. It's been a few minutes. We're going to put our chocolate on top. Just going to, oh, let me take you, I don't think you can see. Sorry about that. Let me scoot this back. There we go. All right. So we're going to just take our chocolate and put it all around. And remember, it's going to melt, and we're just going to spread it around. We're going to leave it for a few minutes. My oven's ready. All right. And we're going to just leave that probably about 3 or 4 minutes. And then I'll take my spatula and put that. So you can always tell when it's pretty much melted and ready to spread by the way it's shiny. So I'm just going to spread this around on top of our butter toffee. And I just want to spread it to the edges. All right, that's perfect. See how easy that was? Be careful, the pan is a little bit warm. I'm going to set this to cool, and then we'll come back and crack it. Okay, we're back, and we are going to be cracking the butter toffee. It looks really yummy. This one has no nuts. It's just butter toffee. I'm going to put you down so you could see. So I just usually lift it up by the paper. See, it doesn't stick. And it looks like this. I'm just going to put that in there. Super fast. Just crack that up. I just wanted to get this done. We are going to be going to family and bringing it today. And I'm going to be making some little care packages. My hands are very clean. I washed them again. I wash them constantly when I'm baking, when I'm cooking. That one's hard. I'm just going to leave it that size. Got a little thicker right there. But as you can see, it cracks pretty easy. Sometimes people just want to try it, so they like a little tiny piece. And we'll try this one. Fabulous. That was probably 2 points. I'll have to count it. All right. Let's bring you up. And there are my 2 so far that I got done. Again, I just want to thank you. Please subscribe. And I love hearing what you guys make. What is your favorite candy that you make at the holidays? And I want to thank you for watching. And until next time, make a fantastic day. Bye.